Okay, so we're gonna get started on another piece. This is a piece I've been promoting to do that's called Mia. Mia is an interview that I did this past week, and as you can see on the screen, I have the piece that's already been set up. I'm going to go through the tools and how I pick and choose various things. First, let me talk about how I set myself up. So I have a couple of references. I have my small iPad with my reference picture on it, right here. And I have my large iPad with my pen that is being reflected onto a program onto my computer, which is recording this right now. So I can kind of go through step by step how I do it on my iPad. It's very important that you understand how this is being done so you understand how I'm showing you how I'm doing it. So let's look at the piece right now. I chose a red background, although the whole background isn't red. I have half wainscoting and it's sort of a gray color. I'm going to do the whole background red. I don't want to overcomplicate the piece. I don't want to over design it. So how I started with this piece, and it's already been started, but I want to kind of go through how I started it. I'm going up to the upper left-hand corner right next to where it says gallery, and there's a little wrench, and you're going to touch on that wrench, and there's a place there that says there's image, there's canvas, share, video, preferences, and help. I'm going to go to canvas, and you can see drawing guide right there. And what I'm going to do is push on the drawing guide. And what the drawing guide gives you your grid pattern. So when I'm doing realistic portraits on a canvas, or if I'm doing it even on here, if I'm not really catching the exact outline of the piece, I sort of reference it with a grid guide, which is how I started this piece. So everything was gridded out, and then I drew it out. This is the grid actually that I used for it. So I'm going to remove the grid and get back to my original piece, and once it's been gridded out, I drew an outline where I lined it out, and then I started putting down my base colors. Now I'm working in a pastel type brush. Up here on the left, towards the right hand side, there's colors, and I'm going to touch on that color, and this is my color wheel. And if you look down at the bottom buttons, there's favorites, and these are all various palettes that I've created for different pieces. The one that I use the most is called my favorite. I just recently did a tiger, and if you guys saw that, here's the tiger one, and here's the default for that. Then I go down and I push on that disc again, and that'll bring me back up to my tiger colors that I used. So I'm going to go back to my favorites, and I'm going to make the favorite palette name my default. And I'm going to push back onto my disc because that's the one I really want to work with today. So sorry about the brightness coming on and off. It's a very bright day out, and I'm just trying to manage the brightness. So this is my basic colors that I work with, and if I go over to the far left on that same panel, there's a brush. And these are the various brushes. You can see there's the inking brushes, calligraphy brushes, painting brushes, artistic brushes. There's literally, and you can make your own brush. And a lot of people that are in the Procreate world do share brushes. But I'm a pastel artist, and so I like to work in the pastel. I like to work the way I work on my regular art form. So as a pastel portrait artist, I like to work with my pastel brush because I understand that the most, and I work from dark to light. So how I started with Mia is I was looking very closely at her face, and I'm looking at the portrait of her, and she's sort of looking off to her left, our right, and her skin tone, she obviously has a very a creamy colored skin, buttery creamy colored, but she also has some colors in there that are like a green or a blue. So I just was washing on some various colors. I'm going to get up to my color palette here, and there's this blue color in the middle. It's like a medium tone, a turquoisey-ish blue. And over here to the far left of my illustration board is these slides. And the bottom slide is for how dark it's going to be, and you go down lighter and lighter and lighter. And the upper one is for the size of the brush, smaller, larger. So let's just play around with this for a minute. Say I'm going to do that blue, and I have it on the most extreme color, right? You can see that's awful. So I go down to the bottom, and I go, hold on, sorry, that was weird that it just did that. It's because I had my screen on there. And I go back. So let me go forward again. There's that harsh color, I don't want that. I'm gonna go back one and take that off. Now I'm gonna drop the color way, 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 way low, and I'm gonna wash it on. So I have this sort of like big stroke that I'm gonna use, and that's gonna go right about here in her cheek line. And she also has a little bit of a highlight up on her temple. And I have another highlight right above her brow line, right up there. And also she has a little spot right here, right in the inside of her nose. And I'm going to pick up this sort of, I don't know, it's like a grayish tone, but I'm gonna go a smidge darker. And I'm going to wash that on to kind of create that low light right there on the inside of her eye. And there's another area over here coming off of her eyebrow. And also I'm going to do her eyebrows. I'm just putting that on there mostly as a marker. You can see I have my highlights there as my marker, but I'm just gonna put this on, and it's sort of this blue gray, which I like a blue gray. And what I like to work with, which a lot of people who know my work know, I work with very unusual colors. I like to work in I work with tones, you know, gray tones, and I like to work grays. And everything in the gray tones has color equals. So this color that I put on the eyebrows isn't very dark. It's sort of a medium tone. So if I wanted to go darker, I go there and I go down to a deeper color, and I could put a darker color on there. I don't really want to do that yet because I'm adding on very gently. So now that I've got that on there, I'm not going to do the eyes just yet, but you can see there's some eye colors there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, let me put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to just outline her eye just very, very little, because I'm not really big on lines so much, but I kind of want to get that in there so I can have more of a, and her eyeball is right in here. She's very pretty brown eyes, and I'm going to catch that later, but for right now I'm putting in the darkest part of her eyeball right there, okay? And also over on the other side right there. And I'm going to lighten this to I'm going to do a brown over here, but I'm going over to a gray brown. You see that right there? See, this is where we are messing with our colors a little bit. You know, this is where you have such control over your colors. It's like, it's better, I think, than having thousands of pastels in front of you. I love it. And I am picking up this beautiful olivey color on her skin right there. I'm going to go a little darker, so I keep that outline right here. And also in the crease of her eye, right? Oops, that's way too dark. Go back one. I'm going back, and I'm just gonna, oops. And that's the thing with this brush. If you go, I'm gonna put it on its side. You see how it does that? Or I can do a fine line. You can't even see the line, it's so fine. Here's my fine, nope. Here is my fine line. But if I put it on its side, I can shade it just like a pencil. That's what's so great about the Apple Pencil, is having that kind of control. So I'm just putting that on there as just markers for myself. I'm not gonna really use that so much, but I just want myself to have like a guideline. And I'm gonna darken up her eyebrows just a smidge, just for my own markers again. And we're gonna leave it at that. And now I'm gonna work in her hair. Okay. So I put down a blue color right here. I'm going to remove that X, but I put that there so that you could see how I'm going to layer that hair on top of the white t-shirt underneath. She has a white sort of sweatshirt-y thing right there. I'm going dark right here. This is darker underneath her ear. And I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. And let me go to her hair color right here. And we're just blocking in the colors. So just think of blocking in like a big areas. We don't want to be worried too much about specifics just yet. So we're talking about just blocking in areas. But when it comes to that details around her white shirt under there, I want that as I want that to be sort of standing out a little bit, because her hair against the red background and her hair against the white it stands out a bit. So she has some highlights in her hair. We want to pick those up, but I also really want to see that white sweatshirt underneath behind. So this is how we draw. This is how we're going to illustrate drawing hair. And you're going to go dark to light when it comes to drawing hair. So that's what we're doing. So these are the undertones of her darkest part of her hair. She has sort of a, it's kind of like a burnt umber, but I really want to keep the colors very warm. And I will plant on some of that burnt umber at a later time, but I want to put these basic colors underneath here so you can see how I layer hair. Because, you know, hair is tricky. You know, you don't want to literally sit there and draw every hair, because that takes quite a lot of time. Okay, you know, the hair that's underneath and behind. You know, it's interesting how it all comes together. There. And so this is just for, okay. And over here, now where her hair is sort of touching against that red background, it's really dramatic because that's what I kind of like the most, is how it's against the red background. So it's very dark back there behind it, and you'll see I'm going to add some light tones on top of it as well, but really the darkness behind. And the darkness is also right here at her ear line. And we're going to do little details, but right now I just want to block in colors. So we're just blocking in our colors right here. And remember, you know, we have to create the background of the hair first. So the darkest is going to go on first, and then we'll put on the highlights of the lighter color. But I still want that red popping through a little bit, and I'm going to show you something so that you'll understand. And we're going to look at the hair, but we're going to go up to, remember our levels up here, okay? So you see the background, how that goes away, and then how that red adds to the coloring of the person. So if this was a dark gray background, for example, which is the background, you wouldn't see so much warmth in there. And that's what you're doing when you're doing an underpainting, true. When you're doing like an underpainting on a sanded paper, or any kind of underpainting for pastels or anything. You know, you are creating the darkness underneath to you know, add into that. So let's look at something. So I'm going to get really, really, really close, and look at how much that looks like real paper there. But if you see the red here underneath, let's look at it right here. There's a little red dots in here. So I'm going to take away that background again. Now look at the red that's missing. Isn't that amazing how that changes that? So it's important for you to really pick and choose your background carefully. Use it. Use the background. It can be gone. You can take it away with a solid color, but you don't want to. You want to use that color within your piece. So she also has a lot of dark hair right here, up at the top of the crown of her. Oops, that's really big. And there's lots of like little hair up there. So we're going to get to that, but that's going to be at another day. But right now we're just drawing in the darkness up here. Now also inside of her hair, where the part is, where the ponytail is pulled up and the other hair is hanging down, this sort of greenish cast is kind of going into the hairline. So I'm going to push that in here. I need that to be a little more gentle. I'm pushing that in in here for a reason, because I want to see that hairline. I want that to be seen, because that's going to cause the dramaticness between the color of her hair, which is this dark red, and everything else that we do with it later. So here we are, and we have created this very dark area, and it's going to, you know, change a little bit, but I wanted to have that, and I'm going to now make little fine hairs. That's a little too fine, and like this, and that's too dark. So you see, I lightened that up, and there. So as I am pulling it over, I'm either making it go on top or sideways, and sometimes it seems a little heavier than others without me changing it, and that's because of the pencil itself. The pencil itself is a really great little tool, and once you learn how to use that, that's amazing. Now, you know, people are asking me all the time, you know, why are you doing digital when you can do the other one and you're really good at that? I personally, I mean, this is my personal feeling on this, is that we're just going to really need to learn how to do this. You're going to need to learn how to do digital. Digital is going to be taking over, whether we like it or not. I'm going to wash some blue over to here too, because it's going to be really an important part of what we do. You know, as much as we love to have oil paintings, and there will always be oil paintings, but your general work that we're going to be doing is really going to end up being a lot of the digital platforms. That is going to be big. Okay, so I am doing a wash over here of this sort of grayish color because of the highlight over here on her skin. I don't want it to be too bright blue, but I do want it to be seen. So these are just some of the uses of the tools we're going to work on. We're going to go to the next video. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be doing more. I'm going to complete this whole piece. I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to sort of zip through some of it once you understand the tools, and I'll sort of go quickly through it. But I want you to understand for the first few sessions about exactly how I'm using the tools. And when I change over to use airbrushing or maybe another feathering tool of some kind, you know, I want you to understand the process of how it's done, because I think this is a really important art form that we need to learn. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please follow to the next video. Like and subscribe for more videos on Procreate and other art forms that I do, including pastels and oil paintings and acrylic pours and lots of things that I do for fun. So thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Go follow me to the next video.